Welcome to another fireside chat here at the Conference 2026. My name is Nico Langmann. I'm a wheelchair tennis player, but today I am not the one who's talking about myself, but I'm a host for this fireside chat and have a very interesting and incredible guest here with me, Carola Rubia. She is from the Fundación Descúbreme.
That's right, yeah.
And from Chile. She has been a professional tennis player as well. Has been in business and is now at the Fundación working for people with disabilities all around the world. Also with now recently added to the agenda emphasis on tennis and inclusion in tennis. And I'm really excited already to talk about this very specific aspect in the next few minutes. If you may, just introduce yourself a little bit.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Nico. Thank you very much to Zero Project Conference. As you mentioned, I'm Carola, the Executive Director of Fundación Descúbreme. And I'm so happy because one of my passions is tennis. And obviously, my other passion is working for people with disabilities. So combine those worlds has been amazing. A journey that I was expecting, I was wishing. And well, today I'm sitting here talking to you. For me, it's a pleasure to talk with a professional tennis player. It's an honor. So thank you very much for letting me be here with you.
Well, that wheelchair tennis or parasport in general has an impact on society. This is no doubt, I think, and we see it at every Paralympic Games, at every event of parasport that is increasing and growing in the last few years. So this is something that we don't have to discuss, but you especially are from living now in a very specific place in Spain, in Murcia, yes, where the best tennis player in the world is also from. Carlos Alcaraz is also from Murcia. And you start to implement an inclusion aspect in his academy. How does that work and why?
Well, as I mentioned before, I've been a tennis player since I was 12 years old, so you can do the math. And the good thing is that I always...
20 years already.
No, thank you very much. No, but the thing is that I always wanted to be involved with the tennis. And as you said, luckily, I'm a member of the tennis club that is managed by Carlos Alcaraz's father, Carlos. And my son is training there. And I like to learn. And I saw the difference between the tennis here in Spain and the tennis in Chile. And I decided to learn more. And I discovered that it was a very good opportunity, the way that tennis in wheelchair in Spain was taught. So I decided to improve my know-how, so I took a certification there. And I did in conjunction with the other coach in the academy. It was new for all of us. But it was a great experience, and that was started where the journey that we have done so far.
So let me ask you specifically. There is this big tennis academy with probably one of the most famous names in tennis there is, and you go there and try to implement, or tell them, hey, you don't do anything for wheelchair tennis. You should start doing wheelchair tennis. Is the reaction from the people something like, for sure we should do it? Are they cautious? Are they reluctant? Or are they enthusiastic?
No, they said we should do it.
Okay.
Because that's why in Carlos Alcaraz Academy, they look after to the coaches. They try to have as much as well prepared every coach that trained there, and they saw that not only in the academy but also in Spain, the tennis in wheelchair is very important, and they have provided different benefits, support. So if you like to join the sport, they allow you to do it. They provide wheelchairs. You know that it is required a very specific wheelchair, yeah. And everything was available. And we have a very small group, only 3 tennis players, learning how to play tennis in a wheelchair. But it's a great challenge for all of us. Yeah.
And the Fundación that you work for 13 years already, I think you told me, does work in the field of inclusion in general, not just in sport, but in work, specific inclusion, in life, inclusion in general. So what do you think is the impact of parasport for inclusion in general? Can it be a motor for it?
These 13 years, we have been working not only in Chile, because I'm also a Zero Project ambassador, and we, as a Fundación Descúbreme, we look after the Zero Project for Iberoamerica. We try to get close this initiative that we are seeing today to the other organizations in Iberoamerica. And yeah, of course, we have been working in inclusive education, labor inclusion, accessibility, but sport, as you might know, allows you to have a complete and integrated area in which you have your head, your heart, and your body connected. And that's really important when you want to achieve different areas, different projects, or would you like to explore other options. So for us, we had it in mind. As I said before, my passion is tennis. So combining disability with tennis, it has been a great opportunity, not only for me, but I saw that in my team as well.
So would you say when we start to implement wheelchair tennis, as you said, at this club, there's now 3 people who start to learn wheelchair tennis. What is the bigger impact? Or you don't have to rank, but what do you think is the goal you want to achieve more? Is it that these people start to be active and get some extra activity in their lives, some extra fun in their lives? It just can be a big benefit for their lives. Or is it also for the whole group of people there, for the whole club, for the whole community there, to experience diversity on an everyday level, on a sport level, where also the barrier of getting to know someone is often way deeper?
You mentioned something that is very important. We have been working 13 years just with the people with disability, and we are not going to change the world if the rest of the world is aware of what happened with when you have a disability. Either you were born one or you get while you are during your life. And we want the community to be part of, to see that playing tennis, you can do it either in a wheelchair or not. But it's there, it's part of the day-to-day, and that's what we're trying to achieve. We want to make sure that not only the 3 people, but everyone who wants to can talk about inclusion, can talk about diversity, can talk about disability. We want every topic to be in the day-to-day of everyone in the community.
Yeah, that is a very cool extra aspect of parasport. I think that people sometimes forget, or even us athletes sometimes forget, that doing parasport, obviously you do the same thing, you do the same practice, you do the same self-improvement and discipline that you learn, but you also have this kind of ambassador role that you fulfill because you have the disability, and you reach people with it. Someone goes to a tennis match, to a tennis tournament, and he only wants to watch tennis, and it's very innocent. He doesn't go there with any second thought. And then he sees tennis, Carlos Alcaraz, for example, but he also sees someone else. I know Martín de la Puente, he's the best wheelchair tennis player from Spain. And then he sees someone in a wheelchair competing, and just in the back of his mind, he sees, oh, they're obviously also part of the sport, part of society, and maybe we should transcend it to other parts of society as well. So I think this is what the power of parasport can do. But then again, parasport can also be exclusive or also be stereotypical on using something like too much, like we always call it in our community the inspiration porn. I think we don't have to discuss that further. But do you think it's also a danger in using sport in a too stereotypical way for people with wheelchairs, that it's too much of a great thing and not just on a emotionless and just righteous way?
I like to talk about tennis. It doesn't matter if it's in wheelchair or not.
Yeah.
Because that will make a difference. That will, in that way, we will avoid to have this huge stereotype.
Yeah.
And at the Murcia, in the club, tennis club, we talk about tennis. We never make a distinction that, this guy is going to this class or this guy is going to the other class. No, everyone is going to tennis. And that's what I like about join forces and different type. Because it's the same thing to say, this is a woman, or this is a man, or this is for young people, experts, professionals. It's another category, so why to make a difference?
To be honest, now we have to make some advertisement for tennis, because tennis, I think, in this aspect is very inclusive, because you can play it with everyone. You don't have to only just play with each other because it's the same court. The net is the same size. Just for explanation, the only difference in wheelchair sport and wheelchair tennis and able-bodied tennis is that at wheelchair tennis the ball is allowed to bounce twice. But the courts are the same, the net is the same. That's why also with tournaments, it's very easy, in a way, to implement this. And I know that you are also very eager to host a tournament in Spain,
yes,
to make it visible. Tell us maybe about your plans there for the future.
Well, definitely we are going to repeat the tennis in wheelchair that we had last year in Santiago of Chile. We will do it again in November. So if everyone is in Santiago is invited. But also in Murcia, we are planning to do a tournament in tennis in a wheelchair, and for people in Europe. But also we would like to invite 2 tennis players for Chile. We want to push tennis in Chile because we have seen how good tennis players we have here in Europe, like Nico, but also we want to improve the tennis in our continent, in our country.
So do you have the dream, what is then the dream to maybe also create professional tennis players in the wheelchairs to go to the Paralympic Games? Or is it to create, it can be both obviously, and it shouldn't be one or the other, but is it to also create clubs which are all accessible, so every tennis club is accessible for the hobby player as well, for the guy who wants, or for the girl who wants to play once a week in the wheelchair? Where would you say is your focus on the development, on the sports program of the Fundación?
I want to put a flag in Murcia, highlighting the tennis in a wheelchair. And we will see from that point where we know where we start, we don't know where we'll finish. But to do that, we review the accessibility of the club, which is very important. We review the infrastructure, we review the sponsors. But we want to start just putting one flag in Murcia and then see what happens. Everyone is invited if they would like to do the same thing in their cities or countries. But yeah, that's our first stone. Then
very last question, because I see the time is running out, and because I'm just very, I just really want to know. You are obviously in the club of Carlos Alcaraz, of the father of Carlitos Alcaraz, and do you think that you can get him, as being number 1 in the world with many obligations, also to push wheelchair tennis in the club for your Fundación, for your dream?
I know that the Academy today is pushing the tennis in a wheelchair. What Carlitos might do depends on what his foundation is planning to do. And I have no idea what they're planning today. But what I do know is that the Academy is involved in the tennis in wheelchair, and also the Spanish Federation also involved in the tennis wheelchair. And I know that in Chile, there are a lot of efforts, but individual efforts, and what we're trying to do is also to try to help them, because we don't need to forget that our heart is in Chile, however, we have an office in Spain. So that's the main purpose.
Beautiful. So next year, I think Carlos is going to interview you, and then you're going to talk about what you all achieved. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.